As a preteen trying to garner attention, I developed the practice of cracking terrible jokes in class. Among my pals, there was a joke going something like, "My parents hit me all the time," which was absolutely untrue. Maybe since I'm Indian, the joke seemed reasonable and attracted a lot of questions and even laughter. I used to often challenge my friend to create the most ridiculous stories about familial abuse. I had no notion that one of my jokes had piques of interest for my teacher. Without even trying to chat to me, she told social services what I had said. On the day I returned home, the expressions on my parents' faces were ones of shock and anxiety. They said the school had phoned and that my younger brother and I might be arrested. Shame and terror completely overwhelmed me. Imagine being apart from my family. It was dreadful. To shorten a long story short, the matter never was resolved. Social services identified the miscommunication after visiting our family and talking with my brother and myself. Still, it was an occurrence that left me severely damaged. In the months that followed, my mental health sank significantly. Out of concern that what I said would set off another episode like this, I grew paranoid and stopped speaking in class. My self-esteem fell and I felt great regret. I began to doubt all I had spoken and undo words I feared might be misinterpreted. One unusual symptom that surfaced was a ravenous need for structure. I began spending hours making my bed, ensuring that every sheet was in its correct position, that wriggles were absent. This turned into a compulsive habit that helped me to find structure in my otherwise turbulent environment. Still, the most unsettling indicators were the invading dreams and ideas I began having. I dreamed terrible things, some of which included horrifying images involving my parents, including sexual ones. I was disturbed and confused. I did not comprehend why these visions were showing up for me. Once I remained up all night trying to escape a particularly disturbing dream. Then the bothersome thoughts began to surface. Though at the time I had no idea what was happening, I realized these were my brain telling me things. The horrific image of suffocating my brother asleep surfaced as the ideas grew more clear. I battled these ideas and begged my brain to stop thinking. I could not control the need, even though I knew it was awful. Desperate, I acted out of the irritating thought. Tears running down my cheeks, I clutched with hands around my brother's neck. Fearful, I let my hold go. He coughed. Once he was confirmed to be alive, I sank into bed and cried for many hours. For me, that night was restless. I felt remorse that was intolerable. I reported what I had done to parents and brother. Healing from shock and grief took time for everyone. When my brother started sleeping in my parents' room, my father, a doctor, knelt down to help. He advised telling my brain that the intrusive thoughts were stupid and it would help to stop them. The symptoms disappeared in roughly 1 week after following his advice. I was released from the suffering brought on by obsessive behavior, dreams, and intrusive ideas. Over 10 years after that terrible event, I have not experienced any return of those symptoms. I can't get rid of the idea of what I did, though. I feel immensely guilty and ashamed, knowing I might have permanently harmed my sibling. When I told my partner this incident, she was shocked and saddened, but she has been really helpful. She is aware that the incidents resulted from a mental health issue and has helped me to process the guilt and humiliation I carry. Sharing my story will enable me to raise awareness of the need of mental health and the need of seeking therapy. Ask for help. Even the most horrific situations can result in healing. After the incident, my brother and I had a rather different connection. Though we stayed close, there was an unstated tension between us. I was really sad and guilty, hence it made sense that he was confused and scared. Over time, we were able to heal our relationship. Nonetheless, the scars of that evening persisted. Thinking that my brother might suffer trauma or mental health issues, I was always anxious about the long-term consequences of what I did. Also profoundly affected were my parents. Parents had never experienced anything like this before, hence they couldn't comprehend how their happy, apparently normal child could have carried out such a terrible deed. Although they tried everything they could to assist me, they were afraid and concerned for my safety. With the help of therapy and my family's encouragement, I began to slowly heal. I learned about the traits of intrusive ideas and the need of facing them. I developed coping strategies to help me relax and stop myself from acting out of negative urges. One of the toughest aspects of my healing was controlling my guilt and humiliation. Replaying that evening's events over and over in my thoughts, I tormented myself in search of possible outcomes. The load was really heavy. Therapy helped me to pay attention to the present and let the past go. I realized I could try to move on and apologize even though I could never undo the things I had done. I began focusing on ensuring my family's and my own better future. I am not that same person I was that evening. I know today how to enjoy a contented life and look after my mental health. I have a great relationship with my brother that we have worked to mend. Though I still feel great shame, it no longer defines me. I am resolved to use my knowledge to help others since I came to terms with my great error. I believe that my narrative has to be told. It's a way to welcome the darkness that every one of us carries within and realize that mental health issues affect even the most apparently normal people. It is also a means of offering hope to others perhaps experiencing similar challenges. My experience reminds me that even in the most dire circumstances, hope for healing and rehabilitation does exist. Whatever age, background, or experience, everyone is vulnerable to mental health problems. One must recognize that change is possible and seek assistance when necessary. If you are having nightmares, intrusive thoughts, or other mental health problems, I highly advise consulting a mental health expert. There is aid. You do not have to confront it by yourself. Through sharing my narrative, I hope to inspire and empower anyone perhaps facing comparable difficulties. Remember that you are not alone. There is healing available. Mental health problems are complex and often misread, hence keep in mind. Treating individuals with empathy and understanding is absolutely more important than stigmatizing and criticizing them. By encouraging an environment of understanding and acceptance, we can create a more inclusive and welcoming society that benefits every person. My background pays homage to the fortitude of people and the need of seeking help. It reminds us that, despite the worst of circumstances, there is always hope for recovery and a better future.